Hi, I'm Pox.
I'm Wreckable.
Couch Guy.
And you're watching the Two Smart Guys show. Every week we bring you the latest and greatest in technology that's not hackable.
What?
Wait a minute.
Are we on the right show now? I'm confused.
We're sponsor friendly.
Oh, that's
We need to
right.
find new words that won't get us booted from YouTube.
We teach you how to get the most out of your electronics in ways that aren't conventional.
We're the handyman's user guide.
Forgotten manual.
Yes, and this week's no different. We're teaching you how to get extra functionality of that iPhone 4 that you bought earlier this year and quickly was replaced.
Ownership.
By the iPhone 4S, which gave you a slightly better camera and Siri. So we're going to give you Siri. Or at least this is part one of giving you Siri.
Yes.
Or at least maybe a way to do it without, having to pay for it.
Down another $600.
Yes, because you have to end your contract early.
Oh. So, what you can do about it is jailbreak your iPhone again.
Yes.
Yay.
So if you've watched any of our previous shows, it's pretty much the same thing, but we'll go over it again because it's fun.
Yay!
All right, so the steps are pretty doggone simple. You just go to our show notes and you click on the link below to go to the Redsnow tool and you download that. It's either for your Windows machine or your Mac, and then you just run it. Follow the instructions. You have to go into DFU mode on your phone, which they explain in thorough. You turn off your phone completely while it's plugged into your computer, and then you turn it on and hold down the power button and the home button, wait 10 seconds, let go of the power button while continuing to hold down the home button for another 10 seconds. Then you let go of that, and it'll pop up with new instructions on the computer screen, and it'll ask you what you want to install on there.
Where do you want to go today? Wasn't that a catchphrase of somebody at one point? Where do you want to go today?
Where do you want to go today? Yeah, it'll ask you, where do you want to go today? No, it'll ask you if you want to install any extra things like multi-gestures, which aren't normally available on the iPhone 4, or like a custom bundle. You can just keep going, and your phone will work for a little while, show some fun stuff on the screen, and reboot, and you'll have Cydia. Once you have Cydia, you launch that, and you do a search for
Spire.
Yeah.
Say Spire.
So you do a search for Spire, you install that, and now your phone works like an iPhone 4S. You go into the settings on your phone, and you enable Siri. And at that point, you actually have Siri on your phone, but it cannot authenticate with Apple, so it doesn't do anything.
Because remember, Siri has to be connected to the internet, has to send back to Apple, and has to come back with the answer from Apple.
Right. So in your settings, you can scroll down, and you'll see a new tab for Spire.
That one word that looks like Siri, but not.
Yeah.
Spree.
And you'll see a little section in there for remote proxy. So you have to enter that information in on your iPhone, and that's where we'll be chiming in with another episode on how to make your own, or if you want to use somebody else's.
How to make it functional for you.
And this also requires the use of somebody's real working iPhone 4S's token, which has to be captured by a proxy server.
Which means you need to have a friend who's willing to have their stuff taken away by Apple.
Yeah, potentially.
Potentially.
Hasn't happened yet, but that's...
You kind of wonder whether or not,
possible.
if you had a friend who was ready to cancel their contract, whether or not you could use theirs. And if it was once it canceled the contract, whether Apple was notified.
I don't know. That's a good question. I bet it's just like a unique identifier that, like a MAC address type of thing, and
That's what I'm saying. One thing,
The way I
going to
understood
cancel
it was
the
a
contract.
token. It was something that gets put onto the device after it's successfully authenticated with Apple, and that by just having that on the device itself, it's not checking anything on the phone. It's just saying, I'm already authenticated. I'm cool. I'm good to go. I'm on the list, yo.
Yeah. Look at me. I'm on the list. Beyond the velvet rope. That's why I was curious, because if you have a friend that's going to dump their contract for any reason that has Siri, get the thing from them, because if they're changing phones, heaven forbid if they're changing to a Windows phone or something like that, why not steal their token?
Why not? Why not steal their token?
They were starting to say everything's like a video game. I need token.
Oh yeah, it's like an arcade. And shameless self-promotion. So we're going to be bringing you some nice CES coverage next week. All the latest gadgets and gizmos and TVs and cameras and gaming systems and new processors and all of that goodness.
AKA Pox is going to go look at TVs and suddenly have this glazed over look and come back with nothing but video of TVs.
Yep. So if you want to see something over at CES now, tell him now.
Because if he gets near the TVs, he's done. Pox has this problem where as soon as he sees shiny TVs that are super thin and super high contrast, just blah.
So last year I stumbled in on an exclusive demo of these autonomous cars. They were like these little bubble smart cars.
Oh.
And they were really cool. There was only about a dozen press people that were invited, and I just kind of snuck in. And I got to ride around with like the technicians and guys that made them. It was interesting.
Those were weird little cars. I wouldn't say cars. They were like
they were segways. They were big segways with a bubble around them.
That's funny. It's like little Pope-mobiles.
Yeah. But they like literally would have people run out in front of them so they'd stop, and one of them almost didn't stop.
That would be funny.
The guy had to jump back. It eventually kicked in, but if the guy didn't move, it would have hit him. Anyways, that's what I want to try and get, is these really kind of interesting out there stuff you don't see every day. There's a lot of technologies that never make it. They're vaporware, and they're just way out there. And that's the stuff I like to see down there.
You like to see the Phantom gaming console?
Yes, the Phantom. I remember getting like 3 emails about somebody saying they're the next big thing in gaming.
Oh.
And they're like from some company I've never heard of, and they're like
Takahishi.
I'm skeptical,
to say the least.
Anyways, next week's show will probably be on CES, or if I can, I'll squeeze in some Siri stuff. I'm going to work on it while traveling and try and get it working. It's a little bit more complicated process setting up your own server.
Yeah.
So.
Does it have to be a Mac server, or does it matter what kind of server it is? Can you get to the hand?
It's a Ubuntu server.
It can actually run on anything, but they recommend doing Ubuntu. That's all the tutorials I've seen on it.
Yay!
Yep.
Linux.
So they recommend is you just download a virtual machine and build one.
Fair enough.
Unless you have a real machine you want to set up. But anyways, I'll have to look into it more before I keep rattling on. Thanks for watching the show. 2smartguys.com is where you see more of these crazy shows and tutorials and whatnot. Subscribe to the feed. We'll see you guys later.
This has been a 2 Smart Guys production.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Sorry, I'm talking to the chat.
And it's so noisy.
Clackety, clack, clack, clackety, clack, clack, clack.
There should be a no typing on chat until show ends policy.